7 through 9. Okay. So, Siddhartha, he was being sick of a poor man and then starving himself all the time. So he crossed the river and then he went into the town and met the most beautiful woman, Kamla, fell in love with her, married her, became the richest merchant, and he was able to experience all the luxuries in the world. He fed himself the fine foods, and then he clothed himself with the best clothes. He was gambling. He was experiencing all the successes in his businesses. But after some time passed, he started experiencing some kind of emptiness and dissatisfaction. And then he felt like his soul was numb and then his soul was deadened. So that's why he departed from this luxurious life and then crossed the river again and went to the ferryman. But it's not easily understandable for us because mostly we seek the riches and then we seek the success and prosperity, and then we have many goals in our life. Oh, so firstly, it would be about academic goals. I would go to so and so high school, and then I'm gonna attend so and so university, and after that, I'm gonna have a job, a successful job. Then after that, I'm gonna buy a house and my dream car, and then my life will be all set. But there are many rich people and there are many celebrities who experience a lot of depression and sometimes commit suicide. And then when I read about those people, I just do not understand. I just cannot understand them. So the famous models, and the famous celebrities, they talk about like having depressions and suicidal thoughts. And why would those successful people, although covered with all kinds of luxuries that are possible in the world, would feel, will feel such depressions and despair? Yeah. And then I was thinking that there are two types of pleasures that humans can experience. The first type of pleasure are the ones that please our physical senses. Yeah, our eyes and then our ears and our appetite, those stuff. And then the second type of pleasure are spiritual pleasures. And then the intellectual pleasures. And mostly the success that we seek in the world are related with the physical pleasures. There's nothing wrong with that, seeking physical pleasures, but then the problem is that for the physical pleasure, there is no limitation. If you are getting this amount of satisfaction from this level of physical stimulation, then you get used to it. So let's say at first you are getting a lot of satisfaction from a meal from McDonald's, but then if you continue going to McDonald's and after a while you get tired of it, then you would want to go to a better restaurant, an expensive restaurant, and then you are notching up, you are taking a higher level of pleasure, but there is no end in it, there is no limitation in that. So those celebrities, like those very famous people, they experience all kind of pleasures that materials are able to provide, and then sometimes they, opt for extremes, such as maybe like taking drugs because they want more and more to stimulate their physical senses. I think that's why he was surrounded by such fine clothing and such fine food, and he just got tired of it. It didn't give much enjoyment as it did before. So he wanted to go back to the time when he was a student, and then when he was a simple self learning from the Brahmin, and when he felt like there was a fountain of learning and then fountain of wisdom that was inside his mind, so he wanted to go back to the time, and that's probably why he felt like that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I think like the luxury, I think the most important, the crucial thing is having the right balance between the luxurious life and then the simple life that seeks spiritual pleasure. So while enjoying the comforts and pleasures that the materialistic life can provide, I think we should be aware the people who don't have it. At the other end of the world, who are living in the third world countries, there are some people who cannot even enjoy a nice shower at the end of the day, and who do not even have the bathrooms to go to. So if we are aware of the people who don't have it, and then if we can appreciate, and if we can think of, you know, ways of giving back some of the luxuries and comforts that we are naturally given, that we are born with. So if we are mindful and if we are aware of this or those people, and if we intentionally and consciously try to like appreciate the things, then I think we can maintain some kind of balance between the two lives. Yeah. Okay, so that was my first thought. And for the second one, so Siddhartha says that I needed to sin to gain holiness. And then I needed to experience stupidity to gain wisdom. And I needed to become like an old man to gain this childlike purity. So basically, he is saying that all of the corruptions that he felt was necessary for his enlightenment, for his awakenings. And I was thinking, is it really necessary to corrupt ourselves to experience the enlightening and then all the teachings? And then I was thinking that it is kind of necessary. Like in my opinion, it's necessary to experience some of the darker natures of the world, or darker natures that are hidden inside us. So if I could take an analogy, since we have winter, so in winter, it's just freezing and it's really harsh. Only because we are experiencing winter, when the spring comes, we can appreciate the warm sunshine of the spring. And then only 24 hours consists of night and day. So during the nighttime, we feel kind of down and we feel kind of scared. But only thanks to the nighttime, when the morning comes, we can appreciate the beautiful sunshine, and then how the sunshine fills our soul. So I think to be able to appreciate the things that are wonderful in our lives, it is necessary to experience some of the darker things in our life. Or it might be necessary sometimes to follow our instincts and follow our desires. So I'm not telling you to go to the extreme or do some of the things that are harmful to yourself or dangerous to yourself. So, but I'm just saying that. So to tell you my personal experience, I was brought up in church. I went to church every Sunday since I was in primary school. And then the church teachings told me that I should be, nice, and then I should uh, I should do everything to support each member of my family. So that was the teaching that was sort of ingrained in my brains. And then I should never smoke and I should never drink, stuff like that. So I was just like a good girl. And then I did not question that. But since I went to college, I felt very much repressed. And after a while, I felt like I was trying to please other people. I was trying to please my parents. I was trying to please maybe like the people who go to same church with me. I was trying to please other people. And then from that moment on, I thought that, oh, my priority in my life from now on is my own happiness. So although you're a teenager, I really do hope that you would live your life to please yourself. Like your own happiness is your utmost priority. So while seeking that, while pursuing that, some people might criticize you. Even your own family members might criticize you. Oh, mommy had such expectations for you. How can you do this to me? How can you betray me like this? Well, I'm not saying that you should do the stuff that are dangerous or harmful to yourself, but then if there are some activities, like some of the things that are attractive to you, it would be very helpful for you to, participate and then engage yourself in some of the activities. Yeah. So don't live your life to please other people or satisfy the social expectations or expectations from anyone else. So let's say there is mm, a spectrum of your needs, and then these would be like some of the so some of the needs and then some of the things that you want to do which is driven by your instincts or which is driven by your like whatever desires. Try to explore that, but there's a limitation. Don't hurt yourself. Don't do the things that can destroy yourself. Never do that. And then these are some of the social expectations. You definitely have to do that to maintain harmonious relationships with parents or friends or school or society in general. Uh, uh, but so feel free to explore fully along the diagram, along the spectrum. But one thing that you should never do is, in my opinion, is hesitation, and then not doing anything, and then like debating, but should I do this or should I do that? Because that's a waste of time. Yeah. So whatever you do it with 100% of passion. So let's say like it's totally possible like one day like this kind of random idea might pop up in your mind. Oh, maybe I should become an idol singer. Now that I listen to Supernova of aespa, it just excites my mind so much. Maybe I should like try that. I mean, it's totally fine. You're still young, and then it's like totally open to you to explore any kind of interest that you might have. Maybe like go to dance academy. Maybe go take a dance lesson for a couple of days or for a couple of weeks. If you don't waste your time like debating, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Is that going to offend other people? Is this going to like displease somebody that I want recognition from? No, do not debate. If you want to do it full-heartedly. If you do it full-heartedly, then you will have no regrets, and then you will be able to decide for yourself whether you like it or not. Just like Siddhartha, he just like explored everything to the fullest extent, but remember that he didn't hurt anybody. Siddhartha didn't hurt anybody, and Siddhartha didn't hurt himself either in that process. So as long as you don't hurt yourself and don't hurt other people, experience or like participate in a certain kind of activity with full-hearted passion. 근데 이제 가끔이 아니라 대부분은 약간 수동적으로 사는 사람들이 많지. 그치? 수동적으로 사고, 이게 좀 약간 끌려다니는 그런 것들이 많지. 많이 이렇게 고민하고. 근데 나도 그랬어. I was just like that. And then I was like debating, like throughout my 20s, I wasted so much time just like hesitating and then like pondering and like not acting, just like sitting in my room. Oh, should I do this or should I do that? Oh, I'm really scared. But I think that I should have actually gone out and tried that. 그거 차라리 고민할 시간에 차라리 했으면 훨씬 나았을 것 같아. 그치? Yeah. Then, like, along this line, you're going to have a balance. Somewhere, maybe here, somewhere in the middle, or somewhere over here, you're going to find a spot, like the exact spot you feel most comfortable with yourself. And then, there was a part in the novel that we were supposed to read today. You can gain knowledge from a teacher, but what is it that you can never get from other people? Wisdom. Yeah, wisdom. So many people, like millions, like billions of people have come to this earth and then departed from this earth, and then they have tried to depart their wisdom by writing books to you. And then we read all of these books, the Bible, and then some of the Buddhist books or the Quran, whatever books that we read, but it's never possible to get wisdom from reading books. It's only possible when you actually go out and then experience. Yeah, so experience, I would say, just like one remark that I would leave to give you is, experience is the king. Yeah, and then it's the only way to gain wisdom, yeah, not knowledge. Yeah, so that was what I wanted to say. So do not corrupt yourself. Do not necessarily corrupt yourself, but then experience. Go out there and then experience a lot. So those are some of the things that I wanted to say. Yeah. So we are going to hear from each one of you for 1 minute and then combine the two into one speech. Yeah, and then we're gonna start from Shihu. Oh, okay, Shihu. No, like two together, two together. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna hear from Shihu, and then for other people, you guys, while he's doing his talking, you have to be constantly preparing for your talk so that it will be spoken beautifully, logically, in an articulate way. And then when you're done with your presentation, feel free to listen to other people or write down your response for next week. Okay, so let's hear from Shihu. Ready, set, start. Oh, could you actually take off your mask so that I can hear you just when you're talking? Yeah, ready, set, start.
I think this isn't what he wants to live. This is different with his imaginary life. His son didn't like his life, so he wants to live without many sources. And I prefer like Beamer. I think I didn't need many objects. And for second question, I think he has caution and he overcomes it and he has lessons. So I think every people have caution some things, and when they overcome it, they have lesson from it. There is some like after there's rain, the land is hard like this, and there is lesson when we overcome corruption.
Oh, okay. So the luxurious life filled with material wealth was not the ideal life that Siddhartha wanted. And then in your personal case, you don't need too much riches and material prosperity to be satisfied, right? So I would say that you are leaning more towards to the type of person who gets a lot of joy from learning, yeah, and then improving internally. Okay, and then you explain corruption in terms of obstacles or adversities in your life. That is very true, because the way to gain enlightenment is not straight path. It's curved, and sometimes it goes back to the point where you started. But as you said, like the old saying goes, after rain, the land becomes more fertile, and then it becomes hardened and then stronger. So if you take those corrupting influences or experiences as a learning process, then then you can gain a lot of knowledge and improvement out of the process. Okay, yeah, feel free to write next week's response. So, Jimin, ready, set, start.
Make people uneasy. For example, vigilance can make people afraid of losing them. They became obsessed with. And for reputation, people are so obsessed with others' expectations, and then they become reluctant to release their truth feelings. So I think that's why Siddhartha feel emptiness. And I think mistakes are necessary to our lives to live better life. I think we don't actually need to be corrupted, because we can always have indirect experiences from groups or other people. So little mistakes can be helpful, but since we can experience indirect experiences
Mm.
looks,
Oh.
and people tend to be corrupted.
Oh, okay. So when somebody has gained a lot of material wealth and high social status, after a while, that person might start feeling uncomfortable because as you have piled up so much riches, you start feeling scared about losing them, right? Because it's not permanent. You cannot guarantee that it's going to be always there for you. There are fluctuations in the economy. There could be natural disasters. You own them, but you don't necessarily own them permanently, so you get scared. Also, if you have high reputation and fame, to protect that reputation, you might not be able to disclose yourself honestly to other people. Then you might say the stuff or act in a way that is fake. Then you are getting far away from your true self, right? That way, Siddhartha might have felt a lot of dissatisfaction. And mistakes can definitely teach you, but then you don't have to like intentionally corrupt yourself because you can always get secondhand learnings and experiences by reading books. Okay, that's nice. All right, okay, we're gonna move on to Kim Yura. All right, Yura, ready, set, start.
So Siddhartha enjoyed all the wealth and pleasure and power in the world, but he said that he felt some kind of emptiness in his heart. But I think that is because that he felt bored with the pleasure. So all those things in the world, like power and wealth, has an end, but a person's desire don't. So when during the pleasure the world can give you gets lower than the desire you want, then you get easily bored. But if you get like real wisdom, then like whatever you do, if you like give out wisdoms and give out lecture, whatever you do, your own wisdom will be inside you. So that will never change. But I think that you need to go through at least one corruption in your life. So because like however you're patient and like act like a god or like a holy person, you are a human, and so you will someday be wanting for wealth and pleasure the world can give you, and you will become curious. So the only way to look away from the wealth is trying it and then see how corrupted you can get so that you can never look at the wealth again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So all the power and then all the material goods and comforts, there's an end to that. There is no infinite amount of power and there's no infinite amount of material. But human greed is just limitless. You want more and more. It's just insatiable. And then those can always change. The savings in your bank account, they can always like fluctuate depending on the economic situations at the time. Yeah, those can change. Like how other people perceive you, like your popularity, go up and down, and then you cannot control it. It's in other people's mind. So he started feeling anxious because he could not control the popularity or the material wealth that he had. The only thing that we can have true control over is our own mind, right? And is our own soul. And then the firm values that we have inside us. So those are the permanent things. And when we can have a real balance between those permanent things and then the things of the world, the worldly pleasures, we can find balance, I think. Yeah. And then nobody is perfect like God. And Siddhartha, I think he was a little bit arrogant when he thought that he felt a little bit superior to other people. But then there was a moment, there was an incident that made him very humble. And then that made him feel like he's just like an ordinary person like anyone else. What was the incident, anybody? What was the incident? Yeah, because of the sun. Yeah, and then he felt like he was above everyone else because he was able to stay like calm no matter what happened. But when his son left him, 아빠 싫어! 아빠처럼 되느니 차라리 살인자가 돼서 뭐지? 지옥 갈 거야! And then he just left.
우리 그 아니죠?
And then he started feeling so much pain and sadness, and then he was able to understand what other ordinary people are going through. Yeah, so any kind of mistake and any kind of falling down is necessary for us to be humble, and then for us to relate to other people and sympathize with other people. Okay, that was nice. Let's move on to 주경이. 주경이. So people who are done with their speeches, feel free to write next week's response. 네, ready, set, start.
I think Siddhartha felt his soul has died and experienced emptiness. Although he possessed wealth, was because he had a lack of satisfaction of accomplishment. He possessed wealth and he was fulfilled with desires such as gambling, luxurious clothes, or food. He probably could have felt physical satisfaction, but in his inner side, he was craving for wisdom, because the objective why he started this adventure was because to earn wisdom and earn peace of his mind, but without doing that, I think that made Siddhartha feel smaller.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he was having all of the riches and luxurious. But then the initial motivation for his journey, the initial motivation to leave behind his family was the self-discovery. He really wanted to discover who he was. He really wanted to find a place where he perfectly belonged and where he felt perfectly comfortable. But he was feeling only the physical pleasures, but he felt more and more distant from his own soul and from who he is supposed to be, who he is born to be. So he started craving for his inner self, and then he really wanted to hear from his inner voice again. So he wanted to depart from the crowds and then depart from the corrupting influences of the world. Okay, very nice. Thank you. Now we're gonna move to 김표기.
짧아도 제 탓하지 마세요.
알았어. 너무 무섭다, 표기야. 오케이. 표기. Our democratic independent spider. 표기 김.
홍철패 독재 바보.
오케이, 표기 김. Yeah, 표기 김. 표기. Ready, set, start.
So I think Siddhartha was unhappy because he no longer had anything to pursue. Because in that state he had everything everyone thought to have. Like for example, it's like buying a book you want to read, and but when you read it first time you get excited, but like when you read it 3 or more times, like then you eventually get bored of it and seek to read other books. But Siddhartha had everything, so he eventually became bored of everything. And before Siddhartha became obsessed with wealth, he sought to achieve inner peace by eradicating his desires and emotions. But after Siddhartha lost Kamala and ran away from the town, he experienced despair, sadness, and hopelessness. Those are emotions Siddhartha never experienced. And so I think how Siddhartha achieved enlightenment is because he managed to feel everything in the terms of physical and mental.
Oh, okay. So when he joined the material world, when he joined the world of worldly pleasures, at first he was very excited when he saw the beautiful women and then took the finest clothing and foods in the world. But as time went by, it didn't excite him any longer because there is an economic concept or term called marginal satisfaction. So when we get one burger, you feel so good. But then if you get one more burger, the satisfaction that you can get by adding one more unit decreases over and over. So that's the thing about like material satisfaction. So he felt the limitations of that. And then the reason why, as Pyogi said, he was able to reach the final stage of enlightenment was because he honestly explored the full spectrum of his material to his physical, needs and also the spiritual needs. So when you're like honestly experiencing all of your needs and then desires and wants, then you can find like somewhere in the middle where you're going to feel very confident and comfortable. Yeah. So he was not afraid. He was not afraid of what other people might think of him, even what his family might think of him. He was honestly exploring all of that, and that's why he was able to come to a realization and then came closest to his true self. Okay, thank you. 이제 수민이 해볼게요. Okay, 표기, feel free to write next week's response. Ready, set, start.
I think the reason why Siddhartha felt emptiness even though he had everything is because
He
he didn't have his own goal. Because
didn't have his own
goal.
goal, yeah.
Because people like not just people have everything, just people living normally have goals like the way how to make money or have a job. But since Siddhartha has everything, he didn't have to earn money or have a job or do anything. So I think the main reason why Siddhartha was when felt emptiness even though he had everything was because that he had everything. So he didn't need to make his own goal to achieve something. And I also think that corruption is needed for enlightenment because like Siddhartha when he had everything he didn't appreciate the things that was around him. But when there is corruption people can appreciate the things that they got very physically because for example have the simple things like having light or doing a warm shower at home. You can if you can't do that in some environment, people can appreciate how good they were in situations. Corruption is important for enlightenment and appreciating simple things.
Okay. Yeah. So he achieved everything that the world calls success, high-end status and rich, and then so everyone wants a good job and a lot of wealth in their bank account. But like once you achieve like certain level of wealth, let's say 100억 or 200억, 300억, let's say you're a 1000억 부자, then will you get so much satisfaction if you become a 2천억 부자? Do you think there is like a lot of different level of satisfaction that a 1000억 부자 feels and the 2천억 부자 feels? Well, I wouldn't think so. Like, there's like only so much that you can get from like food or clothing. Let's say if you go to 신라 Hotel buffet for every meal, then like how high can you go up? So like there's like only so much that you can get from like physical senses and like material satisfaction, and beyond that I think everybody needs a purpose. Yeah, so purpose is usually I think a person feels purpose when he or she feels like he's like contributing to the lives of other people, or when you feel like you're improving, and then when you feel like you're making a difference in the world. And from those things, when you have a purpose-driven life, you feel the satisfaction beyond the material wealth. Yeah. So when you grow up, I want all of you, every one of you, to have a very rich life, to the point when you get tired of it. I want all of you to become more than 1000억 부자. And then I want all of you to, clothe yourself with all the designer brands. Like I want all of you to, shower yourself with like Chanel and like it'll be a water. And I want you to get tired of it at a certain point. But I don't want that to be the end of your, like journey. And then I want you to have a spiritual journey. And then I want your journey to be purpose driven. So to do that, to gain high status and then to achieve a lot of wealth, you definitely need to do the things that society requires you to do. You need to win in the competition, that whether it's academic competition or whatever competition that you want to belong to. Yeah. But I hope you can derive like spiritual satisfaction as well, and then satisfaction from your own purposes. Okay. Yeah. Also, that was Sumin. Okay, so 선민이 ready, set, start.
In the novel, Siddhartha had a pleasure like having all what he wanted. However, because Siddhartha didn't fulfill his inner self, he felt negative feelings and feel depressed. It was due to material wealth which blocked Siddhartha from finding out what's really needed for him, and didn't finding that lead to feel emptiness and trapped. And plus, Siddhartha decided to fall into corruption, and it was right in Siddhartha's case because he didn't have enough experiences in the outside world. And as the old saying goes, one look is better than 100 sayings. It was right to crash into the outside situations, and that will lead to Siddhartha to learn.
Oh, okay. So his inner world became, it was shrunken over the years. He only pursued the material wealth. His inner world was not rich any longer, and the corruption was necessary in this case because experiencing is the only thing that can give Siddhartha or anybody a wisdom. And as the old saying goes, like going there and looking at it is going to give you a better idea than just like talking about it or like hearing about it like 100 times. So experience is the only thing that can give you true wisdom, I think. Yeah, rather than just like talking about it or thinking about it. That was very nice. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, let's move on to Tayoni. Ready, set, start.
Siddhartha enjoyed wealth, pleasure, power, and all the joy of the world, but he felt that her soul had died. I think Siddhartha herself has not achieved anything, so she felt that her soul had died. People feel satisfied and happy when they have gained something through great effort.
Oh.
There is not much satisfaction in what is given, but what you have. It's natural to feel grateful for what you have, but people do not. In the case of Siddhartha, she already enjoys all of things that people get through great effort. That is why Siddhartha seems to think that abundance dulls her soul. I pursue life A because I prefer nothing to achieve not less ordinary than to constantly achieve something and gain something through difficult experiences. Also for the second 계속해요.
조금 더
I
해.
think for the second question, I think the failure is said to be the mother of success. In the end, a lot of experience and a lot knowledge gained in the process through failure becomes success. So I think corruption is needed for succession.
Oh, yeah. So Taeyeon just said that we feel most satisfaction when we feel like we have made enough efforts to gain it. And then if we gain something so easily, we get bored by it. And at first, Siddhartha made a lot of efforts to be successful in business and then to win the heart of a woman that he loved. But after a while, it became so easy for him. Although he didn't make too much efforts, everything came to him so easily. And then while talking about this, I got reminded of a recent episode that I experienced. So, 부원장 teacher and I went to 인형 뽑기, and then he spent so much money at the 인형 뽑기, and then I think he spent like at least 5만 원, and then he failed every single time. And then I told him, hey, if you had just like go inside an 인형 store and then bought just one 인형, then you would have gotten like 10 인형s, 10 dolls instead. And then he said that, yeah, but then I really want to get it after a lot of effort. Effort makes it feel very enjoyable. And then I said, yeah, that's actually true. Yeah. So like if you feel like we have really worked hard to get one thing, it's not the value of the thing, the objective value, but then it's the amount of work and amount of care that we put into it that actually makes it valuable. Okay, yeah, all right, thank you for sharing. Okay, and let's move on to Jian. Ready, set, start.
I think at first Siddhartha usually feels well and usually feels well and be satisfied. But as the time goes, he get adopted with his wealth and wanted more and more. Also, I think anyone can have both intellectually developed life and wealthy life if they work up a sweat to find the balance spot of those two. I think the process of corruption was necessary for Siddhartha because he faced different things and get to know which path he flows and which path is wrong, right for his future and for his life. I think this kind of process is necessary in my own life as well. While experiencing different things and situations, I will learn more and more. Also develop ability to solve various situations.
Okay. So he got used to the riches and then he got tired and so accustomed to it. And corruption was necessary for us to develop the ability to judge something as right or wrong, not just because our parents tell us to do so, not just because like traditions tell us to do so, but because our judgment and then our critical thinking ability tells us to do so. So I grew up in church and then I thought that I had to accept everything that was written in the Bible without questioning, and then I felt like I didn't have my own independent opinion. I felt like a robot without my own independent thought. But after like I just like intentionally rejected everything that was written on the Bible, and and then I just like went out and then drank a lot, and then for like 1 year, maybe for like 2 years, I drank every single day. Not every single day, but at least 3 or 4 times. Three or four times a week, and then it was very, very enjoyable. At first, yeah, that was a long time ago. But then I got very, very sick, and then one day I went to the hospital because I was so sick, and then the doctor, she did just like a brief overview of my condition, and she said that it's very likely that you have cancer. And then she said that we're gonna do a close of, examination over the next 2 weeks, and then the results are going to come out in 2 weeks, and then you should wait for that. And then during the 2 week, I was so sure that I had cancer, and I started like regretting all of my past behavior. So only after experiencing the negative effects of my behavior, I realized that 술은 안 마시는 게 좋구나. I mean, people tell you, like the Bible tells you, and your parents tell you, 야, 그런 건 안 하는 게 좋아. 안 하는 게 좋아. 아무리 들어도 it's written in the book, but it doesn't move you. but only after like truly experiencing it and then like truly feeling the effects of it, you get a real lesson that is ingrained to you and then you can never forget. Yeah.
맞아봐요.
근데 좀
어.
궁금한 거 있는데
Yeah.
그 아들은 어떻게 됐어요?
그 아들 누구야?
그 시다르타 아들이요.
시다르타.
가출하고 얘기 없었잖아요.
내 생각에는 딱 이렇게 막 놀다가 시달자처럼 뭐 이렇게 다시 이렇게 하지 않을까? 항상 이렇게 내 생각에는 그냥 쭉 가는 건 없는 것 같고 이렇게 갔다가 이렇게 했다가 다시 왔다가 그러다가 시달타도 지금 깨달은 것처럼 보이지. 근데 또 언제 타락할지 몰라요, 여러분. 시달타도. I think it's like a circular pattern. Yeah.
나는 자연인이요.
갑자기? Okay, so let's move on to Minsa. Okay, ready, set, start.
Happiness doesn't always depend on fullness.
Uh-huh.
The prince of the richest kingdom could be happy when
맞아.
the beggar in the same kingdom could be happier than
어.
the person in the world.
어.
And when you experience good things, you become used to them, so you slowly forget that you should be grateful for it.
어.
And like for example, you don't actually think much about your own good limbs.
오.
If you get hit by a truck and you become disabled,
어.
you will be.
어.
And in order to realize something, you must read the original thoughts beforehand. And like your parents say that you shouldn't cross the road when the traffic lights are red. And it doesn't actually feel dangerous. You cross the road when it's on the traffic lights are red. But if you get hit by a truck, you become so that lesson becomes into your head.
It gets embedded into your head, ingrained into your head. Yeah.
Never cross the road when it's on the red traffic light. Like this, falling is essential to find out something important to you. In the traffic case is safety.
Oh, yeah. So like a beggar on the street, having nothing, he might feel a lot of happiness, whereas like a billionaire might feel very depressed and even commit suicide. So there was a guy, he was a Korean entrepreneur and he owned the largest game company in Korea. He owned Nixon. Have you guys heard of Nixon? Yeah. No?
맞는데 아니에요?
Oh, yeah. And then his name is Kim Jong-ju, and then he is like top 3 billionaire in Korea. But he committed suicide when he was pretty young, when he was in his 50s, maybe 53 or 54, I don't remember. And then everybody like couldn't understand how can such a successful man who has everything like could kill himself. Yeah, so like I think the happiness depends on our ability to like appreciate the things. Yeah. So like if you ever feel like down and depressed, if you like start writing down the things that you already have, and if you like start counting your blessings, you're going to be very, very surprised. You're gonna be able to like write down more than 100 for the things that you appreciate in your life. Yeah, so like had the ability to appreciate is the key to happiness, I think. Yeah, and only after you experience some kind of negative effects of your actions, then you can feel the lesson of it. But never do the things that can harm yourself. Yeah, that's very dangerous. Okay, so let's wrap it